One of the things I think is still a very powerful tool, though I've talked a lot recently about social media and the internet and smartphones and how it's impacting us, is the good old-fashioned mail. And I always say to clients, there's a reason when you go to your mailbox and you got a letter from some charity, there's a reason nonprofits around the world are still sending stuff through old snail mail, and that is, as you see there, it works. And so you need to consider using mail yourself. Now, I believe that you ought to send out quarterly giving reports. Every time, by the way, that you send out a letter, there ought to be 3 elements in there. In the quarterly report, there ought to be their giving statement so that they can keep track of that from the IRS and all those kinds of things. Number 2, there ought to be a thank you note in there, either from the pastor or somebody on staff. And then number 3, there ought to be an envelope in there. Well, why put an envelope in there? Because you want the money back. The very first time I ever did that, this was many years ago, and I wish I could say I was so brilliant I thought about it, but I actually read it in some book that talked about if you put an offering envelope in all of your correspondence, you'll get money back. And so we had them printed up that was postage paid. You know, we only paid the postage if they mailed it back. I'd gladly pay the 40 cents plus or whatever it was back in that day to get checks. It's amazing how many people will send you money in the mail if you'll put an offering envelope in the quarterly report that you send out. Same thing about a summer campaign. Now, you know already summer's a very challenging time for your giving. Get ahead of that. By the way, what is your plan right now for a summer giving campaign? If you're not thinking or starting to think and starting to plan about how you're going to head off the summer slump in giving, you're going to be in trouble this summer. And summer is not a slowdown time for most churches. We're picking up speed because we're doing mission trips or other ministry initiatives, and the reality of it is many times our summer giving declines. So I always recommend that our clients have a summer giving campaign and that we use effectively direct mail throughout that. One of the other areas of direct mail that is appropriate and important is the year-end appeal. And you may consider that. One of the things, we also have an ebook on our website that's just called Turbocharge Your Letters. And in that, I've written some very basic steps of how to craft a letter, how to think about that letter, how to make it a letter that's not boring but exciting. And there's also a lot of samples in there. I told the guy the other day, I said, if for nothing else, you can just erase the names of the other churches in there, put your name in there and send it out, and you're ahead of the game in terms of not ever sending anything out. So the tools and the resources are certainly there for you, but I would strongly encourage you to use the direct mail approach.